Hey, my name's Peter Coyote, and I wanted to say a few things about police violence that I think have been overlooked. We're all concerned about the shootings, violence toward young black men that's paralyzing the country right now. I think one of the things that's overlooked is that we're thinking of black men and white men. I'm not a white man. I'm a Caucasian. That's my genetic footprint. And white is a political construct for people who believe they deserve the cream and everybody else is trying to steal it. And black people are not black, they're Negroes. That's the name of their genetic footprint. And black is the political equation for those people that white people are afraid of. And they're told they count for nothing and they're shot down like dogs in the street. Well, there's only two words that we should be concerned with, really. One is human being, and one is citizen. Any citizen has the right to expect protection and support from their law enforcement. But human beings, that's something else. So I used to have an old corrupt Indian friend named Hambone Tritt. He was a guy who looked like he'd been hit in the face with a shovel a few too many times. And if you saw him on the street holding a bottle of wine and a Gallo gift wrap, you'd walk right by him. You wouldn't pay him any attention. But he was a deep guy. And one day we were sitting around talking, and he said to me, "You know, Panay-Fitch?" That's what he called me. Panay-Fitch is the Karak word for coyote. "You know, Panay-Fitch, there's two kinds of people. There's human beings and there's nobodies." And I was a young man, so I said, "Well, what's the difference?" And he looked at me like I was an idiot, and he said, "Human beings care about other people." So that's the 411. That's the dividing line between human beings and nobodies. Now, you can be a human being as a policeman. You can be a human being as a politician. You can be a human being as a millionaire. You can be a human being as a beggar. But you have to decide. And the time's coming to choose sides. And not only choose sides, but be public about which side you're choosing. Policemen are employees. And like all of us that work for other people, they do what they're told. So if there were orders coming down, hey, you got to stop this. You got to stop killing young black men. You got to stop rousting black men in cars just because they're driving a Mercedes. You got to stop following young black men in stores. You got to treat them like citizens. They would do that. But the fact that that message has not come down from the governors, the mayors, the political followers in Congress tells me that a subtler and silent and more lethal message is being sent. And that message is being sent like a dog whistle to the white people. And the message is, we're not going to let them get you. Well, the "ya" in that sentence is white people. They're not talking to human beings. Because in fact, nobody's coming after you. Because in fact, if black people were like my people, the Jews, they would have already had nuclear bombs right now, like Israel. And that little minority population would be telling the majority population, like Israel, what to do, what they will and will not do. But they're not doing that. They're protesting their fate, certainly, with dignity and far more aplomb than I could bear. But they're not coming after you. So it's time to choose sides. And while we're bike racing in our spandex, and while we're windsurfing, and while we're driving our 7 Series BMWs, we still have to choose which club we're going to belong to. Are we going to be human beings, or are we going to be nobodies? And when you decide, you can't be quiet about it. You got to tell the followers in Congress, the followers in the mayor's office, on the board of supervisors of your county, and your governor, we don't play this crap anymore. This stuff has to stop. And if it doesn't, we're going to tear it up, burn it up, make life in the United States intolerable. Because we have a better vision. We're following the visions of our founding fathers. And just because they couldn't do it, just because they had slaves, didn't mean they didn't aspire to something greater. And that's what we need to do. The human beings need to tell the nobodies, hey, we don't play that shit. Thanks for listening.